Hey, how's it going everyone? Teysind here, and today I want to take you all through my video game strategy guide collection. So let's get right into things. Firstly, starting off with Final Fantasy strategy guides, I have my original Final Fantasy X strategy guide. This has been through a lot with me. I used to just read this all the time. And fantastic guide. I really like, is it Piggyback? Yeah, Piggyback strategy guides. I just find there's so much quality in all the guides they do. So I've always stuck with them most of the time. I've got some Brady game guides, but Piggyback are definitely my favourite. Second, I've got the Brady Games Final Fantasy X-2 strategy guide. This served me well. On my second playthrough, I 100%ed the game with this strategy guide, but I wish I got the Piggyback guide. I did find some mistakes and stuff in this. Because this was my second playthrough, I knew enough about the game to find out that when I was going through the 100% section, there were some things that they had noted wrong. But when I went to pre-order, or when I went to purchase this, they didn't have the Piggyback one, so I didn't know that we were getting it. But regardless, it's still a great guide. Love the cover art on it, so definitely worth it. Thirdly, we have my Final Fantasy 13 Collector's Edition Strategy Guide. Really nice guide. I really love this premium feel to it. And I got this with the Final Fantasy 13 game when I bought it secondhand, so I got a good discount getting it combined. Next is my Final Fantasy 13-2 Collector's Edition Strategy Guide. And although it looks similar to the 13 one from the outside, it has a softer feel, even though it's a hardcover. It feels, I don't know how to describe it, a coffee table sort of book, or I don't know, even more premium. But great guide. You know, this game, it's got a lot of, you know, time travel and different alternative choices and stuff you can do, so definitely good to have this to sort of show me around a bit. Next, we have the Final Fantasy Type 0 HD Collector's Edition Strategy Guide, also hardcover, and this is the first strategy guide that I got with a e-guide, so I got a free digital e-guide, so that was awesome to have. And I think I got this for like, I don't know, $10 or $20 at JB Hi-Fi. That's Australian. It was like the last one left, and they had a special sticker on it, so I think that works out to about $15 US or so. And it looks really beautiful. Definitely love this one. It's definitely a game I need to get into soon. And lastly, for the Final Fantasy strategy guides, I have the Final Fantasy 15 Ultimate Collector's, oh not Ultimate Collector's Edition, that's the game. Final Fantasy 15 Collector's Edition Strategy Guide. Again, now, like, the guides I showed you before, they were guides I got when I was much younger, and I used to use guides a lot. Nowadays, I avoid guides at all costs, at least until I finish the game. Then I go back through and sort of have a look at some of the finer details that are, you know, things that I may not be aware of and miss. So this guide has basically just gone straight onto the shelf since I got it. But one day when I feel ready, I feel like I've completed all the dungeons I can find and everything, and there's, you know, I'm at that point where there is just, I'm not finding anything more, then I will go through this, and I might find some really awesome stuff in there. But regardless, I want to get this because it has some extra story details and stuff. It's got, I think, extra 32 pages at the back, which the normal strategy guide doesn't have. And yeah, I want to definitely get it while I could, and I got it from Book Depository. That's where I get most of my strategy guides, the brand new ones at least, and you can get them with good specials and stuff. So I got this a lot cheaper than retail here in Australia, and it was actually an Australian copy that was shipped to me. It's got the Australian like consumer law stuff at the back, so I was pretty surprised with that, because Book Depository, they ship from UK or US, I'm not too sure where now, but this was shipped from somewhere locally, and yeah, excited to have it. Now moving on to some of my other console RPGs and games, and my favourite game series of all time, Kingdom Hearts. This is the original strategy guide for Kingdom Hearts, so also one I got when I was a teenager, and it's still in an awesome condition. I definitely goes to show that I really took good care of anything to do with Kingdom Hearts. Next is my Kingdom Hearts 2 official strategy guide. Again, this is from the original Kingdom Hearts. Really happy to have this. I really want to get the Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix strategy guide. I never managed to find that, at least for a good price. And they never released that HD 2.5 Remix strategy guide, which is a shame, because I would love to have seen that. But regardless, happy to have the original Kingdom Hearts guides. Next, another RPG series I love a lot, and that is the Dot Hack series. So I've got the Dot Hack Infection strategy guide. This guide, I think, is very hard to come by now, and I think I got this from Amazon when I was younger. My friend played the game too, and Amazon, they have all these extra charges when you buy a book and then for the postage too to Australia. But because I got 2 copies, one for my friend and I, and we went halves and stuff, got it for a good price and couldn't find this anywhere here in Australia. So really happy to have it, still in perfect condition as well. Following on from that, I have the .hack GU Volume 1 Rebirth strategy guide. I managed to get this imported with the, I think it was a sealed copy of .hack GU. I'm not sure if I got them from the same seller or different sellers. Actually, I do think it was the same seller because I got the combined postage and stuff. But again, great game series. Because they're in parts and save files transfer over, gameplay elements and stuff transfer over, I found that at least with the original .hack game, just having the first guide to sort of show you the way of getting certain items and stuff, it's really all you need. And then through the other games, you really basically don't need the guides for them. Unless you want them, they're always good to have, but because they're not easy for me to find, or they weren't at the time, now they're probably almost impossible to find. I was happy just to have the first ones of each. And another guide that I recently got, and that is the Xenoblade Chronicles X Collector's Edition Strategy Guide. This is a beautiful guide. Again, this is from a game series I haven't fully played through. I just did the intro chapter and I had other stuff going on, so I never got to continue with that at the time. But as I said, this would be a game that I would love to just go through and do everything I can, and then at the end sort of nitpick my way through the guide and sort of see what I can find. Now moving on to my Pokemon strategy guides. I have the original Gold and Silver strategy guide. Not in the best condition anymore. Definitely one that I gave good use. This Generation 2 is my favourite Pokemon game generation. It's actually the last generation that I ever beat a Pokemon game on. I've only ever beaten Red version, possibly Blue and Yellow, but not my own copies, and Gold version. That were the only 2 I beat, and that was back when they originally came out. And then afterwards, I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, so I couldn't get the other ones and stuff like that. And it's sort of, I never really got back into Pokemon since. And not saying that my enjoyment for it changed, it was just that I never got games until recently. Now I'm getting the games and I'm starting to play them and stuff, and hopefully we do get a Pokemon game on the Switch. That would be perfect. Finally playing a game on the console, like an actual mainline Pokemon game, will be awesome. So there's that. I also have the Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver strategy guide. I picked this up recently, and as I was saying, favorite generation, I had to get this, and I think I only got it for like $8 Australian or so, incredibly cheap. And I recently picked up Soul Silver as well, so gotta go back and play through my favorite generation. Moving on, I have the Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire strategy guide. Really nice guide, quite big. I love the sort of the shiny cover too. And this is one that I got recently, really cheap. EB Games had a sale on, so it was only $15 brand new. So definitely had to get that and add it to my collection. A guide that I actually got alongside the Heart Gold and Soul Silver was the Pokemon Black and White version strategy guide. This is of all the Pokemon guides I have, this is the one game generation I don't own yet. I really want to get Black version. It would be awesome to play, and I think then I would have a game from every single main generation. Or it's just, the Pokemon Black and the White and the Black and White version too. They're the only generations I don't have a game from. So still great guide and awesome to have. And my last Pokemon strategy guide is the Pokemon Platinum version strategy guide. And this is massive. If you look at it, it's really thick and chunky. And Platinum version, I think this was the last generation that had a 3rd game in it, at least until now. So and I always loved the 3rd generation games. I never managed to get one as a child, but I always wanted to play them. I always wanted Yellow version, I always wanted Crystal version, so it's really cool to see, this Platinum version, and I only just recently got the game too, so this guide definitely will stay with me. Now moving on to the last of my guides, and that is the Zelda series guides. So here I have the original Ocarina of Time strategy guide. I used to go through this like crazy as a child, and I think there was maybe a poster and stuff. Don't have it anymore, but as you can see, like my mum put some of sort of that protective stuff on the back and things like that, and definitely I think there are possibly pages missing from this. I'm not too sure. I'd have to actually, no, maybe there aren't, but it was definitely a good guide to have. One thing though about this is it didn't have everything in it. Like it did have tips on how to get the what is it called, the what's that heavy sword? Is it Big Goron sword? I can't remember the name of it. But the sword, you need two hands to wield and you can't hold a shield at the time. It didn't have things like that in it, so I didn't know that existed until a friend showed me how to get that sword. And yeah, so it says official strategy guide, but I wonder if there was another one released later on that had more to it or so. And continuing on for that, I have the Ocarina of Time 3D strategy guide. So this I could call, at least until date, the definitive Ocarina of Time strategy guide. And you can very much just as easily use it with the the original Ocarina of Time. It doesn't have to be the handheld one, but it definitely has a lot more in it, I'd say. It's a bigger book than the original one, and I actually got the original poster and everything in it, which I just realised now showing this. I didn't realise that the poster was in there, so that's awesome. I also have the Twilight Princess HD strategy guide. Not the collector's edition, just the standard one, but I managed to get this for only $10 Australian, brand new. It was a combination of it being on a special, getting rid of the last ones, and a tiny little sort of ding there that I sort of haggled down an extra $5 off. And again, really happy to have this. Twilight Princess HD is a definitive version of that game, so it's good to have the definitive strategy guide. And lastly, one of my favourite Zelda games, I absolutely love this game, and that is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD strategy guide. I played the original Wind Waker, but the HD version, which I also have, looks gorgeous. So it is so cool to have this strategy guide, and it was one that I found secondhand and got for a very good price. And also it had the E-code unused inside of it, so it was awesome to be able to put the E-code in as a bonus and get that, especially when it's secondhand. So there we have it, everyone. Those are my strategy guides that I've amassed and collected over my years. As you've seen, there's quite a few there that are very old and ones you don't see around today, like the original Ocarina of Time strategy guide, the original Gold and Silver strategy guide, things like the original Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X strategy guides there. And then I got a lot of newer ones like the Type 0, the Xenoblade Chronicles, Final Fantasy 15 and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what strategy guides do you have, and ones that you really cherish or so. And do you collect strategy guides? Are they ones that you collect to look through, to help, or do you go on the internet, or do you collect them like me? In a sense, nowadays I collect them, but I don't go through them until when I feel like I'm ready to go through them. Also, let me know what your favorite strategy guides are that you either have or that you don't have but really want to get. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sharing, subscribing, and until next video, stay spot on.